Leviticus 25:44-46. Leviticus chapter 25 from verse 44 to 46. I'm reading from NIV version. Your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. 45. You may also buy some of the temporary residents living among you and the members of their clan born in your country, and they will become your property. 46. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property, and they can make them slaves for life. For you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. So guys, I want to meet you at the comment section. Let's talk about this. Because since I came across this verse, I've been thinking, can it be God that is telling or directing the children of Israelites where to buy slaves, how to treat them, how to take them as their own possession, how to make them slaves? Please, can we meet at the comment section and discuss this? Thank you. See you on my next video.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. We don't need to go to the comment section to talk about it. Let's talk about it on the video. He said, can it be God teaching the Israelites how to buy a slave, to take care of a slave, to take them as a possession? I will not talk about the Bible. I will talk about what Quran really say about slavery. And everyone in the world will hear what Quran says about the slavery. If you read, I will start from this Hadith and also go into the Quran. Sahih Bukhari, volume 3, number 765. Sahih Bukhari, volume 3, number 765. Narrated, Quraib, the freed slave of Ibn Abbas, that Mahumina bint al-Arad told him that she manipulated a slave without taking the permission of the prophet. On the day when it was her turn to be with the prophet, she said, do you know, O Allah apostle, that I have manipulated my slave? He said, have you really? She replied in the affirmative. He said, you will have got more reward if you have given her, e.g., the slave, to one of your maternal uncles. Here is a woman free, a slave girl. But Muhammad said that would have given more heavily reward if she had given the slave of her uncles, the slave, one of her uncles, thus keeping the slave in slavery. There was a certain woman who released a slave, free a slave, but what did Muhammad told her? She said, you should have received a lot of reward in heaven if you should have give that your slave to one of your uncle, so that slave will still be in slavery till the end of her life. And let's start from the Quran again. Let's talk about what Quran say, how Quran tell you to treat the slave. He said, Quran chapter 33, verse 50, the prophet will have made lawful to you that wife whom you have granted dowries. That you prophet, you can make sexual intercourse with your wives, and slave girl whom God has given you as a boosty. You can also make sexual intercourse with the slave that Allah have given you, that you have captured from war. If you also read Quran chapter 23 verse 6, he said, except with their wives and slave girls, for this are lawful to them. You can have sexual intercourse with your wives and your slaves. This is what Quran is talking about, the slave. And there are many hadiths that will say how to treat your slave. There are many hadiths here. Okay? Now, let's read what Bukhari said. Ibn Dawood, Abu Dawood hadith and slavery. Abu Dawood. He said, Abu Dawood, volume 2, chapter 597. on a man who beat a slave while he's in the sacred state wearing Islam, wearing Ira. Sunan Abu Dawud 18:14. Abu Bakr began to beat his slave, while the apostle Allah was smiling and saying, "Look at this man who is the sacred state that is doing the note for his Hadith says." Abu Bakr beat his slave to teach him sense of responsibility. Abu Bakr was beating his slave, and Muhammad was there laughing at him. So if your God is not supporting of beating slave, maltreating them, will Muhammad sit down and be laughing at them? If you read Abu Dawud 2074, Ibn Umar report the prophets are saying, if a slave married without the permission of masters, his marriage is null and void. Muhammad is support. Your Allah is in support of marrying slave. Now, I want to read from some Muslims and the story of Rasulullah, the Muhammad, that will shock many Muslims now. Will shock many of them. Muhammad had many male and female slaves. Who teaches Muhammad how to have slaves, both male and female? Is it not your Allah who tell him to go to the war, kill people, and take them as a slave? Kill the Israel, kill the Jews, take them as a slave. He said he used to buy and sell them, a prophet of Allah, and he purchased more slaves than he sold. He sold one black slave for 2. He sold one black slave for 2. His purchase of slaves were more than he sold. He buy a lot of slaves and sold them. Prophet of Allah, for that matter. And you could not read that from your Hadith, from your Quran. You only go to the Bible to bring out what you don't understand. He said Muhammad had a number of black slaves. On one of them was named Maram. Muhammad forced him to do more labor than the average man. Look at how Muhammad is treating the slave. Hard labor. Look at how he's treating them. Is this a good man that we should follow? Is it an example of a good man that we need to follow? No. He said, when Muhammad went on a trip and he or his people got tired of carrying their stuff, he made Mariam carry it. Mariam said, even if I were already carrying the load of 6 or 7 donkeys, while we were on a journey, anyone who felt weak would throw his cloth on his shed, on his sword on me. So I would carry that, a heavy load. Tabari and Jawziya both record this, so Islam accepts this is the truth. There was a man called Mariam, a slave. Muhammad make him work, hardly work, times 3, times 4 work. To the extent that if Muhammad and his people were traveling, and this slave is among them, when they were tired of carrying their load, the slave have already carried the load of that 6 or 7 camels can carry. But yet, if Muhammad and his companions are tired, they will still give in their load. Said Ali, who was Muhammad's son-in-law, wiped Aisha. Listen to this again. Ali, who was Muhammad's son-in-law, wiped Aisha's slave in front of Muhammad to make her talk about the adultery charge against Aisha. Muhammad did not say a word to Ali about being the female slave. A female slave bear witness that this woman commits adultery. And the in-law of Muhammad started beating that slave. And Muhammad was there. If you can get from Sirah to Rasulullah, page 496. Started beating her. But Muhammad did not say anything. In the Sirat Rasulullah, Muhammad massacred 800 men and took their wife and children as a slave. Look at this Muhammad, look at him. He killed a lot of people, massacred them. He destroyed people's life and take their wife and their children as a slave. Why can't we read it from Surat Rasulullah? The story of Muhammad. Why can't you read this for people to learn? Praise the Lord. Why can't you read it for people to learn? Let's move forward on it. He said, he kept at least one Jewish female named Raina as his concubine. Muhammad also kept one of the slaves as his concubine, that he may sleep, have intercourse with him at any time, and gave the rest away to the Muslims. He also asked Muslims, take this one you like, have intercourse with them, you can stay with them under the shed outside, anywhere you like, do whatever you like with them. And the Sirat says, page 466, that the apostle divided the property, wives and children of Banu Qurayza among, and the apostle sent Sahid, brother of Asher, with some of the captive women of Banu Qurayza to Najd, and he sold them for us a weapon. Please, I want us to learn together. You see, one thing for certain, Muhammad was a slaver. The names of many of Muhammad's slaves are details in Muslim writing, and they can be found behind the veil. We'll treat that next time. But I just want us to learn this. If you read Surah 4, Quran Surah 4, and verse 3, Quran Surah 4, verse 29, and Quran Surah 93, verse 49, Muslims were allowed to have sex anytime with slaves. Muslims are allowed to have sex with them anytime they like. So why don't you read this for your people? And all what Muslims like is just to go into the Bible to read what you don't understand. So if it's not possible for the God of the Bible, in the Torah, which means the commandment of Israel, the commandment that God gave to Israel, if it's not possible for God to give them that commandment, then tell me how it's possible for Muhammad to do all this, including his companion. Tell me how it's true, and why God will tell Muhammad to tell his companion that have sex with your slave. Also tell Muhammad that you can have sex with your slave, do them whatever they like, beat the slave in the presence of Muhammad, and he could not be able to do anything. By his killing husband, taking their wife, selling them, taking them as a slave, why will your God will be in support of this? So God bless you for holding your Quran. But if you Muslims continue taking the Bible to read it out and not explaining what it's really talking about, we will go into your Quran and your Hadith and your Tafsir, and we bring out and the history of Muhammad, the type of the character of Muhammad. God bless you, everyone, for watching this video. Share it to others. God bless you.